Ladies and gentlemen, we're back at it. Today we're going to be going over my exact watch list slash trading routine I do every single day while I trade the markets using the supply and demand methodology. Now there's a lot more that we need to talk about, but we will get into that individually when we come across the markets. This is a common question I get, is how I analyze the markets, how do I flag the markets and all that. So hopefully you can take one or two tips and implement it into your own trading. You know the saying, you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? So it's important for us to have a proper routine slash plan. So let's get into it. The first thing that I do is I look at the news for the week. I need to be aware of what's coming out for not only the day, but for the week, especially for the day. Here, it's probably not a smart idea at trading a US dollar pair on a very small time frame with numbers about to come out, or in this case, the Australian news coming out. I don't care if it's bullish or bearish, it's already priced into the market. I am not going to be actively in a day trade or looking for a lower time frame trade with news about to come out. People blow their account by not looking at the news event. So make sure you do this every single day. It might sound like common sense, but it honestly really isn't by the amount of people that actually reach out to me and they say, I didn't look at the news. I lost all my positions because I didn't see that the news came out. Trust me, I was flabbergasted. I think it's common sense, but a lot of people actually don't do it. So when we get onto the charts then, after I look at the news, starting with the EURUSD, obviously we can look at the monthly, the weekly time frame, the daily, the 4-hour, 1 hour. It's going to be different for each individual trader. Somebody trading the lower time frames like scalping will be focused on more of the 1 hour and the 4 hour. Right? While somebody might be swing trading, might be looking at the weekly or the monthly. So I do this for the daily and the 4-hour zones, but I've been doing this for 8 years. So I know by me looking at the daily, I can tell you what the trend and what the price action is going to look like on the 30-minute, on the 1 hour, on the 4 hour, the weekly. I can already tell you what it looks like if I switch the time frame because I've been doing it for so long. But I will do my daily and 4-hour zones, but I will talk about different time frames and different setups. Okay, so first things first, we're going to be drawing out my higher time frame zones. I'm not necessarily really focused in on where is the next best trade opportunity. I'm looking for a signal. My main goal is just to identify where the big money is coming into the markets. I'm not going to get too in depth about the supply and demand methodology. I have uploaded a tips video on how to trade this methodology, so you guys can check that out in the comments below, as well as many other different setups trading the supply and demand methodology. The set and forget setup, confirmation, the one time frame sequence setup, how you could trade a variation of both, right? There's so many different things that this could be a 5-hour long video, right? So I'm here to share with you what's on my watch list for the week and what I am doing, okay? So I'm going to start with the 4-hour, the daily, right? Daily, drawing out my zones, got my daily supply here as well. So I'm thinking, hey, since prices are currently in these areas of where a lot of sellers came in previously, I'm going to mark it red. I could mark it green, I could mark it blue, I could mark it pink, but hey, since it's actively inside of it, I'm going to mark it red, right? That just keeps me organized on which ones to come back to and look at. Now, I could ask myself, is there a set and forget setup or is there a confirmation? Well, I actually really like this supply zone as a set and forget. But if there's a trader out there that's like, I don't like setting and forgetting, well, then no problem. You're not looking at that as a set and forget. Maybe you're waiting for prices to go back up into this whole supply, and then you will start looking for selling opportunities with confirmation, right? Same thing here. Maybe there was a really good 4-hour, 15-minute zone. I don't really necessarily see any. Pretty good imbalance here, but it's not something I would trade. And maybe it works for quite some time. But definitely when it comes to the confirmation, I definitely like this. Price inside daily / 4-hour supply. And it's a really nice supply zone here. Breaking upward momentum, opposing zones removed. Price inside higher time frame supply. We got a lot of sellers coming into the market right here. So that's telling me that I probably want to be a seller when prices come back up into it. Now, did I get filled on this? No. Personally, I don't like how prices come back up into it. But maybe if you're a trader that doesn't care about the arrival, then you'd be in this trade, right? Or the trader might be like, hey, I don't like it, but I like using this as my 1 hour supply. So then I'll go down to like a 1 minute or a 5 minute and see if I can capture any shorts in there. Okay, so let's go to the next one because I'm not here to talk about. To be honest, I don't really like uploading this because that's the problem with YouTube is there's so much I want to add, and the problem is people just don't really want to sit there and listen to a 45-minute video. But then that's why there's so many unanswered questions to these videos is because like I can't go into these certain subjects or else it's going to make a 2 hour long video. Unless I want to make a 2 hour long video, then sure, people that want to watch a 2 hour long video will watch it. But the truth is 99% won't. And so it doesn't get many views and overall it hurts the performance of the trader's YouTube channel, you know? And so this is why just being part of the private group is so important. You can get that free training at moneyballtrading.com, where you can hear my top tips, how to become a consistently profitable trader, why 90% of the traders lose money, what separates the winning traders versus the losing traders, as well as an ebook and a lot more stuff on the methodology that I trade. Once again, that will be in the description below. So pound USD daily time frame, it's not inside of it, so I'm not really interested in marking it out right now. I think definitely as like a 4 hour zone right this second. I really like this. I like that area. Why? A lot of selling came into the market right here. So I definitely want to be looking for selling opportunities if and when prices come back up in there. Now currently we're going up to the extreme. So that's what I really like. This is the last chance of sellers coming into the market. So I might go down to like a 5 minute and wait for sellers coming in. So I'll keep it flagged red. Okay? And this could be done with monthly, weekly time frame if you're swing trading because you might not have access to look at the charts for hours on end. So New Zealand USD, we talked about this in the private group. This is a really good 4 hour demand zone. It could be like a one time frame sequence setup, but I'm not necessarily a fan of trading against the US dollar for a long-term swing trade. So I like it as a short-term trade, as a bounce, but ultimately I wouldn't think that this demand is going to be the zone that takes it all the way up. I think you're trading seriously counter trend, given the market, right? Nonstop down. It's a really nice quality zone anyways. Very strong move to the upside, removing supply zones. So I definitely really like it. But I would use this as a higher time frame and then look for buying opportunities in here. Since then, we've gone up. So even right now, I like this area for selling opportunities. So maybe I want to flag it for the day, and I'll say, hey, I'll come back to it after I'm done this, my analysis, and I'll come back to see if there's any opportunities. So once again, starting with the daily downtrend, I don't want to be counter trend trading relative to the daily time frame. Now for the 4 hour, it's going to be in a sideways market, so I'm going to go off and draw my zones of where I want to be buying and selling. And I want to be looking for sells up here and buys down here. Some people might look to buy that whole demand zone straight up. I think it's valid. To me, I think it's just a little bit aggressive. And now you're probably looking on a smaller time frame for selling opportunities. So let's go to USD CAD. Now this is really trending to the upside. It's going to be difficult to get price inside daily zones, so we're going to have to use 4 hour zones. Yeah, that supply worked really well. We talked about this in the private group. Really nice sell zone up here. It was inside daily zone way to the left. But hey, we're here to talk about new opportunities right now, right? We're not here to talk about old trades. And right now, I'm not necessarily a big fan. I really wouldn't keep this on my chart. I wouldn't keep it on my watch list, but I think some people might. I think it's decent. A little demand zone. It has been tested once. It's a strong US dollar, so I could see people wanting to flag it and keep it on their watch list as long as there's a good buy setup. Let's go to Euro or USD Yen. Uptrend, 4 hour uptrend. Yeah, so right now this is not a pair that I would keep on my watch list at all. I like this area for a nice selling opportunity. I think it's really good up there. But ultimately, I just don't see anything great I like. Maybe for scalps, like using a 1 minute, waiting for prices to come up in here, sure, that's fine. But regarding the 1 hour, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan. Like, I'm not even looking at this. USD Mexican, the only zones that I'm going to keep on my chart is that daily and a little daily down here. So if I'm looking to enter on like a 1 hour, I might flag it, right? Waiting for confirmation, or I might be looking for set and forget, which will be down here at the extreme and down there, right? This is why I tell people in the private group, like, here are the 4 different setups. Trade them all. Figure out what you like and what you don't like. You're going to be taking bad trades and good trades. So then you're going to hear from me about what's good and what's bad. And then after you get 50 trades, 60 trades, we can review to see what's making you money, what's not, right? Go out of the loan, and you can take you many years, or you can do it in 90 days. That's what we try to do. 90 days for the people that are willing to put in the work. USD Singapore, so right now this is not even a chart that I would look at. It's just nonstop up. I don't see it inside higher time frame zones. It's not necessarily a market that I would trade. Now, maybe for a smaller time frame trader, to be honest, I just don't like this. I don't like it. It's not a very good zone. Any type of supply is up here. Any type of demand is down here. And the fact that we're not even close, I would keep it off my watch list. So I would remove it completely. Now, maybe somebody might actively look at it on like a 30-minute and see if they can capture buy setups. Like, this is a really good 30-minute demand zone. I really like that, right? Really nice. So different types of setups, right? This is what I mean. Like, it's tough for me. I'm having trouble recording this video because there's so much I want to talk about that I have to leave out. But I know people will ask questions on it. And so it irritates me to make, and honestly kind of does irritate me to make a video like this because I feel like I'm not putting in my best effort to share, everything that can happen, how different traders will view the market, how you could analyze this market, and so on and so on. Like, there's so much I leave out. But that's why in the private group we do it, twice a week, and we go through it all. So regarding the S&P, I definitely want to be looking for selling opportunities. This has been my bias for the last 45 days. It's going down. It's horrible economic news. This is not a stock market that I want to be long-term swing trading to the upside. If I'm going to be swing trading, I'm swing trading to the downside. Because look, it's just nonstop down. You're going to sit there and call a bottom of the market thinking you're going to call the bottom for the next week or two? No. If you're going to be buying, I'm thinking very short term, 1 minute, 5 minutes, right? And so let's go to like the US 500. And let's delete everything. What do I like here? I like this supply. I like this area for selling opportunities right now. Just, we're getting these impulse waves down, up, down, up. So I definitely want to be looking for selling opportunities as of now. Haven't seen anything yet, so maybe prices can go a little bit higher. I mean, there was a trade I took today. We'll do a little trade review for you guys. NAS 100. This was a 1 hour zone. So overall, I just explained, my overall analysis is down. That's that 1 hour time frame. We're below the 200 moving average. We're reacting as of the trade. We're reacting off of the momentum line, the trend line. We're sitting inside a previous area where it made a new lower low. It's a supply zone. We kind of got this impulse wave correction, impulse wave correction, impulse wave correction. So now I'm starting to think like, hey, potential impulse wave to the downside might come from up in here. So I want to be looking for selling opportunities. Long term, looking for selling opportunities, bearish to market. So then I go down to this case is like a 3 minute / 1 minute. And this was the supply zone. Stopped out at break even after a 1.5 to 1 move. Original take profit was around like 3 to 1 down here. but prices came up into my supply. We started making higher highs and higher lows, and we had a really nice supply zone up here that I ended up selling at. But after a 1.5 to 1 move, I protected my stop and ended up reversing and stopping me out. So, hey, you win some, you lose some. The UK 100, I don't like buying this thing, but also I'll share with you why I can understand why buyers will come in. And this is going to be like demand slash support across the board, right? I think if you scroll out here on the daily time frame, it's not a bad idea at looking for buying opportunities. I mean, this area has resistance once, twice, 3 times, and then once it finally broke it, it's held support once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And now we're going back into that area of where it's support. So that's why I could see buyers starting to step into the market, is we're reacting off of the support now. Would I buy it straight up? No. So I want to be waiting for evidence of buyers to come in, and they would definitely be very short-term type of trader. Okay, so let's go to oil. Oil downtrend, looking for selling opportunities. I mean, just follow the trend in my book, right? We haven't seen this trend come to an end yet, right? We're still making the lower lows, lower highs. The first indication of anything that I started saying, hey, we might start to get a turn here, is when we actually started removing this area of supply and breaking that downward momentum. Because before it was lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and then we finally started actually removing this area and making a smaller time frame, higher high, higher low here. But ultimately we ended up failing. So this is really the whole block of supply that I will keep on my watch list for selling opportunities. I will be bullish once prices rally up here and break that supply, and then maybe we get a little pivot point. And once that happens, I will be all on board for this thing going higher, right? It might go here, have that pivot point here, and then remove it. And then at this point, I'll be bullish, right? But right now, with it sitting inside this area of supply, I definitely want to be looking for selling opportunities. And what's important is just having that same top-down analysis. This is why it can get very overwhelming for a lot of traders. I like this area up here. I like that. I like this area for supply zones. These are all areas that I'll be looking for selling opportunities inside of. Okay? But it can get very overwhelming when you start trading, swing trading, day trading, and scalping. So that's why I always say, slow it down, focus on one type of, setup, one type of time frame, master that, and then start adding more. Okay. So this was my watch list on gold for the last day. I mean, hey, we're in a downtrend. Why not respect it? I think long term, it's a great move to the upside that will happen. But for the short term, hey, we're sitting inside a little drop-based drop supply zone that made a new low in the market. So I want to be looking for selling opportunities if prices come back up in there. Unfortunately, we never really got any evidence of sellers that came in. Maybe a little bit. Let's go see a 15-minute. Yeah, I remember seeing this, but I wanted to see a stronger move. More stronger move to the downside. But hey, I could understand if people did want to end up trading that as a supply zone. I get it. I get it. Quality standard is not for me, but sure. What I would want to see is for it to actually remove this area as it's making higher highs and higher lows. I want to see that happen sooner rather than later. And it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candlesticks to finally remove this, right? And then it took another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like a total of 15 candlesticks to actually break the momentum. 8 to 15 candlesticks to do both of them is too much time. What I would want to see, if there is actually a large amount of sellers, you'll see price do this. That's what I want to see. I want to see that type of move happening within 4 candlesticks, not 8 to 15. That really doesn't tell me that there's a large stack of sellers. Okay. So as of now, I think we have some new little areas of supply, but yeah, it's not really too much on my watch list. I like that area. I like that area. I also like this area. Let me delete everything. I like this. I like that. I like that demand. And I like that. So right this second, I would be waiting. I would be waiting. Sitting in between, not interested. Silver, obviously it's going to have a big move to the upside. As of now, I like it for looking for selling opportunities. It's reasonable up in here. And so I'll keep that flagged maybe for future opportunities. But ultimately, I think this weekly supply is the best just because it's going to be like a major resistance or sorry, yeah, support, major support. But then it broke. So it's like a channel breakout retest / resistance, as well as we're coming up to this 200 moving average right here. So I definitely like it for selling opportunities, either for the next couple of days or even if prices rally up a little bit, right? It's got to get to this big stack of selling. Bitcoin, this is not something that I would keep on my watch list right now. It's just died out. This is what the 4-hour looks like. It looks like nothing. Where I like for selling is up here, and that's really it. That's it. So let's skip it. This was Euro Pound. I like this. I was watching this yesterday. Higher highs, higher lows. We got a rally-based rally demand zone. Very strong move to the upside. So if prices come back into it, I want to be looking for buying opportunities. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Either set and forget or confirmation. There was a lower time frame, I think like a 30-minute, really good set and forget right here. Trading at the extreme, trading with the higher time frame trend. This is why we do multiple time frame analysis a lot. So I like that if you are a set and forget trader. Now, it's not my bread and butter, so I don't trade it, but I could definitely see people trading it, and maybe it works out for some time. Maybe you manage your position, maybe you don't. So it's either you probably get out at break even or you lose a trade like that. But ultimately, no real setup that I see occurred in it. So hey, we delete. New chart. All right, new chart. Pound yen, I really like this one. Really nice supply zone. I like that. Look at that move. Look at that move. Very strong move to the downside. Drop-based drop supply, removing demand, removing demand. So it's definitely a quality zone. Now keep in mind, even the best setups fail and the worst setups can work. So as a set and forget, I actually like this. You're trading with the higher time frame trend in a downtrend, and you got a really nice supply zone right up here. I like that. I like that. Really nice and balanced to the downside. It's at the extreme. And I guess right this second, you might be in your position waiting to see if prices drop or not. Now, the confirmation trader is waiting for sellers to come in and then hopefully get a nice sell setup. Okay? So lower time frames, I like it for selling. Let's keep going. Daily, nothing too interesting. Nothing. I wouldn't keep this on my watch list at all. Some people might want to go around drawing out their zones. That's totally fine. But the thing is, I'm so active on these charts that I don't really want to have to go off and draw every little zone. I check them every day, so many times a day, so I just update them as I go if prices are extremely close or inside my zone. So even this one, I would keep that daily zone drawn out, but ultimately I just would leave everything else. New Zealand yen, I like this supply and demand and this supply up here. I like those two areas. So right now that would be flagged for what I'm actively looking at. Maybe there's one time frame trade seekers out there and they want to trade the zone straight up. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. All right, just make sure you're consistent We got 90 days left in the year, guys. We got 90 days left. So, hey, I'm sure a lot of you guys had goals of becoming a trader this year. I would like to ask you, how is that going? If it's not going well, what are you going to do for the rest of the 90 days? If it hasn't done well for you for the last 9 months, what makes you think it's going to do well for you for the next 90 days, for the next 3 months, right? So look to change it up, reach out for help, join the community, right? Have that coaching program all laid out for you. That's enough for the new year. That could be your goal over the next 90 days. Become a profitable trader and join the Moneyball Trading Group. Aussie New Zealand. I like that daily. I like that daily. So I would keep that on my watch list still. But the problem I have with this, swing traders, keep an eye on this, is I actually like this as an active swing trade alert. So if I'm swing trading, I would keep this on your chart. Sideways market, we've had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of the last 11 candlesticks, 9 of them have gone up, right? How often do you see that? It's getting pretty overextended now to this point. It's just grinding up. As a long-term swing trade, I like this for selling opportunities, but we have to see sellers come in. This has been on my watch list for a swing trade for quite some time, but we haven't seen any evidence of sellers stepping in. It's just remained the exact same. We aren't showing any evidence, no strong moves to the downside that's breaking any structure. So, hey, the day trader says, I don't care about that. I'm going to continue day trading this up, and I agree. All right, different types of time frame traders will be looking at different things. Aussie CAD, I don't like it. I'd skip it. Maybe as 4-hour and 1-hour zones, but let's move on because we could talk about this for hours. I'm not trying to make it an hour-and-a-half meeting. Aussie Swiss, I don't like it. Nothing. I like this 4-hour. I really like that. And so if prices come back, I like it for buying. But ultimately, is it inside weekly or monthly? It's counter trend, so I mean, you wouldn't be wrong. It's going to be a multiple time frame. So if you don't mind trading counter trend, then sure, this might be a setup. And personally, what I would do is I would look at the extreme because that's really where the buyer stepped in. You can clearly see that. The buyer stepped in down here. Now, I don't really, you kind of scroll out and you kind of look at this. It's like, have buyers really stepped in? Like we're still holding this momentum. We might have broken that momentum, but it's not the best evidence. And so that's why I'm saying small risk and the extreme. But even when I go down to a smaller time frame, I just see it grinding up. So in this case, I would keep it as like a 4-hour and then wait for prices to come in and then look for buying opportunities, right? So let's continue. Pound CAD, like this is a really good area that I like. This zone was created when they announced they're going to go back into QE. Right? Massive drop to the downside. And prices just ended up breaking right through it. Just blew right through it altogether. So that's okay. Was there any real good selling opportunities? No. Nothing that I like. Any set and forget? I could see people trying to set and forget here, but I've tested this many times. And my results are the extreme works a lot better than the lower zones. But hey, that's up to you guys to figure out your stats. You can see mine in the private Discord group for people going through the program. But quick talk, I wouldn't recommend trading the lower zone. I always recommend trading the extreme. So let's delete that. Wheat. What do I got going on here? I mean, wheat's an interesting one. It doesn't matter if you guys don't trade wheat. The same principles apply to every single market with zones and top-down analysis. Maybe slight things might change, like I'm very bullish the dollar, right? Or commodities, I'm bullish, or so on and so on, right? So this is a supply zone that worked pretty well. It's got a really nice drop-based drop supply zone. It's been tested once, maybe tested twice, 3 times. So we're going back up into a tested zone, which is okay for me. I don't mind trading inside a tested zone, but I definitely might want to consider smaller risk as well as quicker take profits. Well, some other trader might say, hey, that's not for me. And that's totally fine. That's not for you, right? Everybody's got their own little thing. So just figure out what you like and what you don't like. I mean, you go to the club, maybe your friend likes hooking up with fat chicks. I don't know who does, but some people really like hooking up with fat chicks. And then you know what? That's his thing. That's his thing. Maybe you got a friend that's gay and he likes sucking dick. And you're like, why do you like sucking dick? And I don't know, man, that's his thing. You know, only another guy knows how to touch another guy's cock. Kidding. Well, not really. I mean, think about it. I don't know. I haven't tried it, so. Jokes, jokes, jokes. Relax. So I think you guys get this. Only people that listen to this video for the last 30 minutes will hear a joke like that. I mean, you got to throw jokes in these calls, man. I mean, especially in the weekly calls, we got to throw jokes in them. It's not an average YouTube video where we just bang out a quick lesson. A lot of value in here, right? A lot of value in how to approach different time frame analysis. Sit back, relax, enjoy your meal. You could be cooking right now, maybe cooking steaks, drinking a beer. More chill, more chill. So we got to make sure we throw some laughter and some jokes in there. Okay, so like this is just a general topic on price action, but like I said, I like this supply zone, but if there is any supply setups that I like, just keep in mind that we go down to this 4 hour, this is the general price action going up into it. It's like it's making higher highs and higher lows. We got impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction. We just made a impulse wave move, right? So we might see a correction move start to come in here at this given point. So that's typically when I would want to time my short entries. Now, if prices drop down here, let me ask you something. If prices drop here and you found a very nice supply zone set up here, would you take it? Would you take it given the fact that you know what the general price action here on the 4 hour is? Probably not, right? It's probably not a wise idea. Yes, we are inside higher time frame supply. I agree, it's great. But prices have now made its correction move, and based off of the last 1, 2, 3, 4 times, after this type of move, the next impulse wave happens and makes a new high and goes deeper into the zone. So it's just probably not a wise idea, right? Maybe some day traders and scalpers will actually look at this oval and they'll use it to time their entries on a 1 minute or a 5 minute entry in here in this oval if prices come back here. That makes sense to me. They're trading with a 4 hour uptrend, impulse wave correction, and that's why they want to look for buying opportunities. It's the exact same trade I explained to you guys with the NASDAQ trade, right? It was in a downtrend. So we look at soybeans. This is a really good chart. I really like it. I've talked about it in previous videos. It's nice to finally see prices pulling back into this supply, or in this case, demand. So we've had this supply marked out for quite some time. Really good zone. Why? It removed demand, multiple demand zones. It broke this upward channel. It's got very strong leg out candlesticks. Like, look at the strength of these leg out candlesticks. That's a lot of sellers coming into the market, right? A lot of sellers coming into the market here. So that's telling me, hey, they saw a lot of value up here. If prices ever return into this area, I want to be looking for shorts. And so this was a long area that we were looking at because it broke downward trend, right? At some point, this is what the chart looked like. It was in a downtrend. And then we started breaking that momentum, removing those supply zones, really good imbalances. And so I like that area. I like it. So actively, if you trade soybeans in the futures market, this is something that you would look at, right? It doesn't matter if this is soybeans. It could be currencies. It could be whatever, right? thinking about that joke that I made. What a good joke. What a good joke. So, hey, let's go down to a smaller time frame. And that's a really nice 4-hour zone. So let's go down to before we go down to even a lower time frame, this is a really nice 4-hour zone. I think if people want to use this as like a 4-hour supply zone, yeah, use it. I think it's great. 100%. I think if you are a scalper trading soybeans, you're pretty stupid not to use that if you're a supply and demand trader, right? Very big move to the downside. Tight base. Maybe not set and forget. Maybe there is a good set and forget. Oh, and there is. There's a really nice set and forget. I like that. Now, something you might want to keep in mind is, hey, we are coming into daily demand. What's the only thing that can break a 4-hour supply zone is a daily demand zone. So that's talking about multiple time frame analysis, and I actually walk you through that in the ebook that I provide to people that go through the training. Moneyballtrading.com, guys. Link in the description. So, yeah, hey, if prices come back up into there, yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, look for selling opportunities. I think it's great. Yeah, I would 100%. If this was United States 30, US 30, Dow Jones, Euro USD, whatever, I'm trading with the trend and a downtrend. I'm selling with a lot of sellers that previously came into the market. Yeah, I like it, right? But hey, do your own research. Have your own little style and make sure that you're consistent with it. But it's a lot easier to learn from somebody that's already been trading for 8 years and has the proven trading plan system all laid out for you. There's no need to go at it alone. The road is already paved. So we look at cotton. Cotton's an interesting one because I had this one drawn out 2 days ago or yesterday. I was drawing out, hey, really nice weekly zone. I like it. Keep in mind, hey, you're going to be buying in a downtrend, right? So is it the best idea? Probably not. Some traders that don't want to be counter trend trading won't be looking at this market. They're like, hey, I'm on to the next one. This ain't for me. Totally fine, right? Don't get caught up in what other people are doing. Find what works and keep doing it, right? So ultimately, this was removed. It worked out really well once, but then secondly, it looks like it got removed. But in my opinion, I think it's fine because you're coming down into a monthly demand as well. So I think if you still get a very strong move to the upside, I still like it. So you can see on this 4-hour time frame, like we're seriously grinding down hard. And if we get a very strong move to the upside and we break this downward momentum and remove like a supply zone here, I'm not talking this, I'm talking this. We remove that and we get a very strong move to the upside. Hey, I like that as a swing trade. I do. That reminds me of like New Zealand, right? This. What was the difference though between New Zealand here and cotton? Well, New Zealand's not sitting inside higher time frame demand. What was this? It was grinding down like that. What do I want to see? I want to see a very strong move to the upside, breaking trend, removing zone, quality zone, and trade the pullback. It's exactly what I want to see. So in this case, sure, some traders might look at this as multiple time frame. They might look at it as a single time frame setup, while other traders are not interested. And depending on the time frame setup, others will. Right? What is the best one? That's one of my questions that I get a lot. So cotton, like I said, looks the exact same. If I pulled up cotton and New Zealand side by side, it looks the exact same. So cotton is like where New Zealand was at 2 weeks ago or last week, but the difference is cotton is actually sitting inside higher time frame demand. And so I actually like that. Let's continue on. Okay, so like coffee right now, I like this. Oops. I like this as an active day trade. All right, it's not inside of it, so I would unflag it. This was, if I'm scalping a futures market, then yeah, maybe I do want to keep that on my chart. It's a very nice move to the upside. I like it. Yeah, same thing with a demand zone here. I like those areas. right? They're very nice. But we're actively looking at the market now, and I like this. I like that. All right. Euro New Zealand, I like this one. Go to that 4-hour time frame. We're in an uptrend. Right? 4-hour uptrend. Nice rally base rally demand. Buyers seem to be battling it out in here. So hey, if there comes up a nice buying opportunity, I might look to buy it. Okay. And Euro Aussie. Ooh, really nice. We got supply up here on the daily. 4-hour. I like this 4-hour demand. I mean, heck, you're trading with the trend in an uptrend. All that. If you're swing trader, then you're not interested in using this time frame, right? That's fine. You're using the monthly or the weekly. Same top down, right? But it's important that you understand the reason of why we're doing this. I don't ask you, hey, why are you buying in this demand zone? Oh, because Austin said so. It's like, no, you have no belief in the system then. It's important for you to believe in a system that works and you see it work for your own eyes, right? That's always the analogy I give if you run into a haunted house, I stay out of the haunted house because I think it's haunted. I don't know if the haunted house is haunted, but I think it is. I've heard stories from other people, but then you go in thinking, oh, no, it's not real. So you run into the haunted house, and then you realize you run outside, run past me, I catch up to you, and I'm like, what happened? And you're like, I saw a ghost, and you legitly saw a ghost. Your belief system is going to be a lot different than my belief system because you actually saw a ghost, while I'm still going to have I'm probably going to solidify a stronger belief system that, hey, it works because this guy actually said there is no ghost and he actually panicking there is. So it's probably going to solidify my belief even more that there is a ghost and they're real, right? But he has a strong belief now going forward for the rest of his life that ghosts are real, right? And it's a haunted house. So it's the same thing with your trading a strategy. You got to understand the whole theory behind it and why we're doing what we're doing, what the whole top-down analysis is, the importance of back testing, seeing what works and what doesn't work, hearing from somebody of someone like me saying, hey, you're doing this right and this right and this right, doing this for over 8 years. You hear from somebody saying you're doing this right, this right, this right, but you're doing this horribly. I've seen countless people try this, but stop doing it, right? And it's these little things that people pick up, and it takes a little bit of time, right? But that's why I'm here to step you through the whole thing for the people that are willing to put in the work. And so you guys can get a free training by heading down to moneyballtrading.com. And so that's what we're trying to do in the private group. And if you just wanted to join that right away and get access to the whole course material, that will be in the description below, or you can sign up for the free masterclass as well. So that will all be in the description below. And you guys can reach out to me on social media anytime at Moneyball Austin. I'd love to help you guys. Let me know what you guys think. Always coming up with new ideas. Oh, by the way, if you guys got a lot of value from this video, I really appreciate if you guys hit that like button. It helps me grow the channel. I know you want to see your friends do well in life, and I want to see you do well in life. So that's why I'm here to provide you with some help. So help me join the channel, grow the channel by liking, subscribing, and reaching out to my social media at Moneyball Austin. Everything that I mentioned, the training, the course videos, anything extra, little videos will all be in the description below. Maybe we get together as a group call one time and talk 2 hours, but ultimately, that all stuff is we hammer it hard in the private group, and that's what we do there in the group. So, hey, this is YouTube. Appreciate it. Thank you for YouTube for hosting this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.